Good morning friends. Today we'll study JDBC process. JDBC process simply it is steps to connect Java application with the backend database. JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity, which is a standard Java API for database independent connectivity between Java programming language and a wide range of databases. That means we can connect with different types of databases by using JDBC API. So let's start. JDBC process is divided into 5 routines or steps. The first step is loading the JDBC driver, then connecting to the database, creating and executing the statements. Next is processing the data returned by the DBMS, and lastly terminating the connection with the database. Okay, these steps we will study in detail one by one. Okay, the first step, as I've said, loading the JDBC driver. Actually connecting with a backend database. So before starting a connection with a backend database, we have to load a JDBC driver, which actually helps our application to connect and communicate with a backend database. So if we have our application, suppose this is a Java program, so this is our Java program, and we have a database, so this is our DB, and we want our Java program to connect to the backend database. For that we need one more intermediate body, and that body is called as the driver, or you can say JDBC driver. So this driver helps us connect with the backend database. So our application cannot directly connect with the backend database, and this connection can only happen through a database driver. Now to load this driver needs to be pre-installed in the computer system, and once you have the driver, you need to load the driver in the computer's memory. And for loading the driver, we have a method called as forName. So this belongs to a class with a name itself is a class. So class.forName and the name of a driver which you want to load. Here we are loading a driver that is sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver. As you know, in Java we have 4 different types of drivers. So type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4, and this JDBC ODBC, it is the type 1 driver, which is the simplest driver of all the 4 types of driver, and which is easy to study, and for the educational purposes we can use this particular driver. But in practical use, this type of driver is not used, as this is the slowest driver of all the 4 types of drivers which we have. Okay, once the driver is loaded, the next step it is to establish the connection. Now before establishing a connection with the backend database, we need to know certain things about the database with which we are establishing a connection. The things like you need to know the location of the database with which you are connecting. So location. You may need to know the name, that is the uname, that is username. Then you also need to have the password. So these are the 3 basic things which are necessary to connect with a backend database. So once you have these 3 basic things, you can establish a connection with the backend database. And to establish a connection with a backend database, we use a method called as getConnection method. This getConnection method belongs to a class called as driver manager class, and that is why we have driver manager.getConnection. As you can see, it is taking 3 different parameters. We have a getConnection method which takes different parameters, but this is one getConnection method which is preferred on the other getConnection methods available. So this particular method takes 3 arguments. First is URL, username and password, where URL provides us the location of the database, where exactly that database is located, the address of the database, and username and password, it is the actual database username and database password which we need to pass while connecting with the database. So once you execute this method, a connection is established between your application and the backend database. A connection is established like this. And if you look at the return type of the driver manager, it is returning an object of connection class, and that is why on the left hand side of equal sign we have connection con. Means driver manager returns a reference of the connection which has been established. So that reference is stored in con. So all further activities on the backend database will be carried out by using this con object. Now we have established a backend connection with a backend database. So next step is creating and executing the statements. We cannot directly execute any SQL statements on the database in Java. To execute SQL statements on the backend database from our Java program, we need to use this statement object, or we have to create a statement object. Statement object provides us with different methods which can be used to execute the queries on the backend database. So how to create the statement object? Statement object can be created like this. Statement stmt is equals to con.create statement. Again, you can see the object con, the connection object, is used to create a statement object. So con.create statement will return a reference of statement object that is stored in a variable called as stmt. Once we have created the statement object, once the statement object is created in the Java program, using the statement object we can execute any query on the backend database. Now we have created a query here. In the example you can see string query is equals to select star from student. Suppose in the DB we have a table with a name student and we want to retrieve all the data from that particular table, then we may write a query that is select star from student. Now how to execute this query on the backend database? So it can be executed like this. You can see here there is a method called as execute query method, and this method belongs to a class that is statement or object statement which we have created. So statement dot execute query, and to this method we are passing our query. The query is select star from student. What this execute query method does? It executes the query on the backend database and the result is returned back to the Java application. And that result which is returned, again when we execute a select query, the result usually it is in terms of rows and column. It is in rows and columns. So that result is stored in one more object. The object is called as result set object. Again, result set object, it is like a virtual table which keeps information in rows and columns. As I have said, the select statement always returns result in rows and column. To store that particular result, we need a special type of variable, and that special type of variable it is called as result set. Now we have executed the query and we have got a result back in the Java program. Now the next step, it is processing data returned by the DBMS. Once you have got the result from the DB to your program, now in your program you have this result. Now this result you want to display. Suppose you want to display the result on the screen. How you can display that result? That is called as processing the data returned by the DBMS. Consider this is our result set. Okay, as I told you, result set, it is like a virtual table which keeps some information in the table like format. So suppose it has written something, the database has written some rows, and that rows is stored in a result set, and the name for the result set which we have, it is RDS. Now this result from the result set we want to display on the screen. That is processing the data. How these data can be displayed? To display the data present in the result set, we may use a while loop. Again, you can see the data may be a single line data, or it may consist of multiple different lines, and that is the reason we have to use a loop. So the loop, if you look at, it is while res.next. Res here, it is our result set, and the method next, simply it is used to move a virtual cursor to the next row. Every result set has a virtual cursor initially which is pointing above the first row, and if you want to read information from any particular row, you need to move that virtual cursor to that row first. And when we call res.next, this virtual cursor, it is moved to the next row, and here it is the first row. Once the cursor is moved to the row, this res.next method also returns a value. The value which it returns, it is a Boolean value. If in that particular row, if there is some data, then the value which is returned by this next method, it is true value. That is true. Otherwise, it will return a value that is false. If you consider this example, there is some data in the row. That means for the first time, this res.next method will return us the value that is true. And as it is true, we will enter the while loop. And in the while loop, how this data present in every cell is read and it is displayed, we can see. In the system.out.println statement, we are reading the data from every cell now. So to read the data, the method which is used, it is res.getString 1. Here 1 specifies the column number. This is the column 1, this is column 2, and this is column 3. So we are reading this data, so which is present in column 1. That is why we have res.getString. Then we have res.getString, and in bracket we have 2 here. Again, that is the data present in second column, and same way 3 data present in third column. So like this we can read data in every column and in a particular row. So we have read data present in the first row. One more important thing to notice here, it is the method getString. Again, the get method or the getter method is used to read the values here. But getString, why only getString? GetString, again we have other data types which can be used. What method to use, that depends on what type of data you have retrieved. If the first column data, it is of say integer type, the method which can be used here, it is getInt to read data from that particular row. So what method to use is depend on the data type of that particular cell or that particular column, remember. So if you're reading string data, you have to go for a method getString. If the data is of integer type, then you have to go for a method getInt. If it is of a float type, you have to go for a method that is getFloat. So we call it as getter method. So it is that method is said to be getXXX method. Get XXX method, where XXX stands for the data type. So that XXX can be replaced with a particular data types of that particular row. Now for the first time, res.next returned true, and we are able to read data from the particular row. The next time, again, as it is a while loop, the next iteration, again res.next will move this virtual cursor to the next row, and as there is data present in this row as well, it will return the value that is true. And as it is true, again we are executing the same statement, res.getString of 1, This time our virtual cursor is pointing to the second row, and this time it will read the data present in second row, first cell, second row, second column, and second row, third column. So like this we have read data present in the second column as well. And again it go back to the while. Again it is executed. This time the virtual cursor is moved to the next row, but as there is no data present, this arrays.next, this time it will return false. As it will return false, we are out of the loop. So like this we can process the data which is written by the DBMS in our Java application. Okay, once you have processed the data written by the DBMS, the last step is terminating the connection with the DBMS. You have all your work done with a database. You have connected, you have retrieved values from the database, and at the end you have to terminate this connection. So to terminate the connection, a simple method is used, that is con.close method. Once you call con.close, the connection will be released. Okay, let's understand the same with the help of a diagram. So look at this diagram. We begin, and the first statement while writing the program, it has to be your import statement. And as we know, a package which is required in every Java program which connects with a backend database is java.sql package, which needs to be imported. And once you import the package, the next step, it is to register, load and register the driver, that is loading the driver. And once the driver is loaded, establishing a connection, then creating the statement. Then once the statement is ready, execute the statement. And once you execute the statement, you may again further add one more step like processing the data returned. And lastly, you need to close the connection and end. Okay, so this is the JDBC process or steps using which you can connect your application with backend database. That's it for today. In the next session, we will study one example program which connects with a MySQL database. Thank you.